how to do it. Let me show you how to do it.
Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can connect your low voltage wire from the Pentair variable speed pool pump to your controller. So basically you need this part. You need to buy this separately from the pump. It does not come with the pump. And in my case, in the previous video I showed you guys how I connected the power and how I set up the controls and all that stuff, to run it without the wire, without the control wire. But in this video I'm going to be controlling the entire pump with the low voltage control wire with my smart controller. So there are two ways you can operate this pump. Basically, the one is the first one that I showed you in the first video with the full installation of this pump. So do check it out in the link in the description below. And this is the second method where you can control it using the low voltage wire. And let's go ahead and see how the low voltage wire is connected. So basically all I did was connect it to this side. This is nothing but just a connector that goes on, and then it goes to your low side. Low voltage wire goes onto the controller side, and then let's go ahead and open that controller and do the wiring inside. And as you can see, I've already connected that cable that comes from the side. So this pump is hardwired, so the power is coming in on this one. And what I did was before, the power was connected right here, and this relay was basically operating the pump on and off, because I never used to have the variable speed one, but this pump needs to be hardwired. So what I did was I took the wires out and I connected it directly to these 220 volt relay. So now it's hardwired, providing power directly. Now the other two wires that you see is basically for the blower that I have, so don't worry about these wires. I'm just feeding the power to the blower directly, but that's nothing to do with this project. So the next, right now, so it's has full power and the pump is on. The low voltage wire that you see over there on the side, it just plugs in and comes in, and I just brought it in like right here, and it has these strands. Now basically this particular one is a 5-volt wire, and this is the hot wire basically, which what we will do is we'll use these aux relays. We're gonna supply it to one side, jumper it to the spare one. So I only have two, and I'm going to be using these two for 2 speeds. Those are the only two I have available. I don't have anything else available on this one, so I'm just going to be using it for these two, unless I remove my lights or aux, which I don't want to do. So I think 2 speeds are enough for me. This is a 3-speed pump with a quick clean, and I'm just using 2, and the black one is out of this. The black is the ground, which you're not going to be using. That's only to be used, if you're using external power source. What else, and these 4 are the different speeds. I'll show you on the screen, which color represent what a speed. But I'm using 2 speeds, so let's go ahead and wire this up. Okay, the wiring is complete. So this is my red wire that is bringing the 5 volts, and then I jumpered this with this wire to the other relay, and this is just a dry contact. When I say dry contact, is basically once you engage the aux 2, this jumper will bring power to this jumper. Same thing over here. Once you apply power to the filter, which in my case is this guy, what it does is it brings power from here to here, engaging the speed. So that's all it's doing, is just a dry contact on both sides. So I think we're ready over here. The rest of the wire I just tucked in, just taped it at the end, away from each other. And normally the low voltage wire is not supposed to be on the high voltage side, but not much you can do in this case. Hopefully we won't have any issues. Try to keep it away from the wires as much as possible. And I'm going to tug in the other one's, just going to push it back. So I think we're done over here. Next we need to do is set up the pump. So let's make sure your time is set and everything. This is what you need to set to external control only, and once you have this is the external control. So this is the wiring that we're doing is for the external control. This one does have an internal built-in control as well, so if you don't have the smart box like this one, you can just use the one inside here, but I want it to be controlled from my panel. So speed 1, 2, and 3, this is the 4th quick clean wire that we saw that we did not wire. So in my case I only did speed 1 and 2, 3 and 4 the spare. I'm not wiring those. You may want to turn off the priming feature. So once you turn the pump on, if you see it priming, it does tell you priming and then tells you the speed. So if you want to just turn it off, all you have to do is just press down this negative and bring it all the way down when it says off or 0. That will give you indication that the priming function is off. Then you want to set up your speed for 1 and 2 if you're using 1 and 2 or 2 and 3, whatever you're using, and that should be it pretty much. This pump will stay powered on at all times, but it won't come on until it gets a trigger signal from here, and that's the only time it will come on. Now all you have to do is just program your controller, and that will just control this whole thing. Okay, so what we did was we have 2 speeds set up right now the way we wired the pump. One of them I set to aux 2, and the other one is on the filter. So since I had a single speed pump before, my filter is already set up for the time. So right now the way this thing is controlling my pump is just on 1 speed. The speed 1 is what is controlling, but for the 2nd speed, I have to really program this so this one works, and then after some time this one times out and then this one kicks in. So that's how I want it. So the first thing you need to do is get into the settings. So let's get into configuration menu. Right now it shows unlocked, but if it's not unlocked for you, you just have to hold on to the 2 outside button and then you will see it unlocked. Now once you're in the unlocked, now let's go ahead and go into the settings. So there are different configuration. I just want to show you a couple of things in there so at least you have an idea, what are the things that you can. So now you get into aux 1 configuration. I'm not playing with aux 1. I'm gonna do the aux 2 because this is where my pump is, and then press plus. Now right now it says low speed, whatever you want. So I think I'm going to leave it at low speed. I did change that, so there are different names, so you can select it. So hold on. Okay, lights aux 1 configuration, go to plus, and this is aux 1. Sorry, I don't want an aux 1, so I want to do the aux 2. Oops, there is aux 2. I'm gonna go ahead and plus on aux 2. I'm gonna, you can call this low speed. Oops. Okay, freeze, disable. Let's go back to aux 2, change it again. There you go. You can call this whatever name you want. So just keep pressing plus. I'm just gonna leave it at low speed. So once you're okay with the name, click the next arrow. What is the function you want? Do you want time lock? Do you want group? Manual on off. Manual on off basically gives you the ability of turning it on and off from here. But I do want it to be at time lock because I want it to be on a timer. So I'm going to leave it on time lock. Standard relay, interlock, disable. I'm going to just leave the rest disable. Now it says valve 3. Now when you get into valves, these are the different valves, so I'm not messing around with those. These are the higher voltage, you can call it. You can control any higher equipment. So these have actual contactor that pick up. So you have basically, in my case, like I have hot tubs, aux 1, and I'm using the filter, and the next one is for the light. So those are the high voltage one. These are the low voltage controls. So you can't really use any of this to run the pumps. So once you're set with your aux, now we can get into the timing part. Menu, settings menu, timers menu. Oops. So this is time, just make sure your times are set. Settings menu, oops. Timers menu, oops. Okay, filter. So right now my filter is set to come on at 11 o'clock and runs till 4. So now I don't want to run it to 4 because I'm going to be setting up the timing. So maybe I'll do 3 hours. So I'm going to drop it down to 2 p.m. So for 3 hours it's going to run on high speed, and T2 we'll leave it at off, spa, low speed. So remember we renamed this as low speed, and this I'm going to set it up. So if I'm stopping that at 2, I'm going to start this one at 2 p.m. I think you can just hold it and let it come to. Now what happens if you, for example, if you leave it at 145, the low speed takes over, you know. So if I'm starting this at 145 and the previous timer was stopping at 2 p.m. at 145, the pump is going to go on low speed because it's going to take over for that. So, but you can leave it at 2 if you want. So I'm going to leave it at 2, and from 2, so I'm going to run this till 4. And this is AM, so I'm going to go ahead all the way to the PM. And that's one thing you want to make sure is AM and PM. Oops. That should go 4 p.m. There you go. So you can increase it, you know, you can play around with the timer. So I'm starting from 11 till 4. So that's like 5 hours, you know. I'm gonna leave my pump setting to that. And then if you wanna increase it, you know, you can play around with those settings. So I think I'm good with this. I think I'm done. So again, filter T1, which is the filter, goes from 11 to 2. And let's see, low speed, which is the aux2, goes from 2 to 4. And that completes, that completes the setup. You know, so now my pump is going to be running on 2 speeds, filter 1, and then it's going to switch on to the aux. Okay, so the wiring is complete and the pump is on. As you can see, working great. So guys, hopefully this video helps you guys do your wiring yourself. You know, you don't have to hire anybody else to do this. It's not as complicated as some people may think. You know, it works great. You can do it yourself. So hopefully this video helps you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. I like the video. Thank you.